Hello guys, today we're going over every movie that I have given a 6 out of 10 of this year, and yeah, there's 14 movies, so yeah, the first thing on the list is a video game, which that's not a movie, of course, so yeah, Mario Maker will not, oh yeah, and The Boys is a TV show, so there's, how many movies? There is 12 movies on the list, so yeah, we're going over the 12 movies of this year that I have liked. I'm going on the IMDb site because I don't have to search for the movies on Google. That's too much work, obviously. And we're going over why I like these movies to begin with. So yeah, the first movie is the Joker movie, which we're going in order. So the Joker movie made, of course, goals does not really matter or make it a good movie good, because there's a lot of movies that didn't really make money at the box office, but still have done extremely well overall. Okay, no, what I still like. Okay, so I have seen most of the movies I've seen are bigger movies. So yeah, Joker is, if you haven't not seen any of these movies, I bet some of these movies you obviously probably have seen. I think everybody who's watched this video have probably seen Joker before, okay? Probably have seen Joker before, but some of these movies people have not seen before. So, yeah, Joker is an amazing movie. Yes, Joker is an amazing movie, okay? Basically, yeah, also they have the plot synopsis here. Basically, there's this guy named Arthur Fleck. He is a guy who is basically discarded and, hated and mistreated and, basically tortured by society. And yeah, he's never, you have this guy who gets beat up by people twice in the movie. And, and yeah, basically Joker is a very great character study. And you basically see him go to the bad side over time. I think it's a better origin story than the original origin story where it gets folded in acid and turns into Joker. I think that, yeah, it kind of makes more sense that, because it is true that that mental illness, you shouldn't really make fun of people with mental illness. It's not really nice, and I think this movie, is really trying to also, first of all, bring awareness to that, and really try to bring awareness to why people with mental illness will not be picked on or bullied for being different. Okay, Joker, of course, you don't want Joker to come back after you, first of all, and second of all, this guy basically had such a rough life. He basically didn't really care what he did anymore. Okay, you kind of feel bad for Joker throughout the whole movie. You kind of, feel sorry for him the whole movie, and all the stuff he's doing is evil, but you kind of don't really feel like, oh yeah, Joker, he's the bad guy. No, you kind of feel like, hey, he's doing these people mistreated him his whole life, mocked him, made fun of him, beat him up in the street, ruined his wife, essentially, basically, everybody betrayed him, basically, yeah, Joker, of course. If you have not seen any of the Joker, and I bet it'll probably still not change any of the Marvel fanboys' minds. They'll probably still tell you, "Oh, Marvel will always be better regardless, because Marvel and the Disney logo, it'll always be better." The next movie, I don't know what this goes by, but yeah, the next movie is Spider-Man: Far From Home. It goes by my ratings, I think, but yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home is a very great movie. Okay, I think it's be the last of the good Marvel movies. I don't want to get. I'm gonna go sleep after this video, but yeah, after I'm done making this video, but yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home is a very, very great Spider-Man movie. It's, people, think that, it has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't always believe that, but yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home is a very genius movie. You have this guy called Mysterio. He's a very great villain because he basically tricks Spider-Man into thinking he's a hero, okay, thinking he's a good guy. Mysterio alone makes this movie. Or if Mysterio wasn't such a great villain in this movie, I think that, yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home will just be an average Marvel movie. The humor in this movie is pretty funny as well. The character and the villain of, Mysterio, he's a very great villain. you know, he essentially is pretending to be a superhero and pretending to save the day. But he's really the bad guy. He really just wants to take over the world and get revenge on Iron Man, get revenge on Spider-Man for basically being friends of Iron Man and, stuff. Next movie is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Yes, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I don't know what this IMDb puts it by, but yeah, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. If you fans of Godzilla already know how great this movie is. It's essentially the American Godzilla movie. It's finally a Godzilla movie that America finally got right after all these years. Okay, after Zilla. Godzilla 2014 they got Godzilla right, but it wasn't, it was still missing what made the, Japanese Godzilla movies or Godzilla fought like all these monsters and stuff so great, okay? And then they finally did. They made the movie about Godzilla. They made the movie about the monsters. They made the movie about, the monsters, the plot was basically revolving around the monsters. It was not really, oh yay, the humans, they're going to prepare to save the world, okay? No, it was really about Godzilla, okay? And they really tried to they also balanced the human stories with the monster stories, which is what they did kind of in the Japanese movies, but they really focused more on the monsters, and yeah, and more of the cheesiness of Godzilla. But this movie is more serious and way less cheese. And yeah, it's finally, it's way more serious. All the don't get me, yeah, the original Godzilla movies, of course, they're amazing. A lot of them are amazing, especially. No, so a lot of the original Godzilla movies are amazing, but yeah, Godzilla King of the Monsters America finally got Godzilla right. And it's funny how the critics hated this movie. The critics absolutely despised this movie. The critics like, oh, hey, Godzilla, it's Godzilla. Like, we can't Godzilla can't be Godzilla, okay? Godzilla, it has to be, boring, love stories that, or boring book smart is what they want to see, okay? The movie that the critics want to see is woke garbage, like book smart, that no one went to go see. No one watched Booksmart, okay? No one cared about Booksmart, okay? Yeah, no one cared about Booksmart. And Godzilla, of course, the winner of, it defeated Booksmart, okay? Defeated Booksmart, okay? Of course, Godzilla was in a, excuse me, but Godzilla basically, and yeah, basically Godzilla, King of the Monsters. If you're a Godzilla fan and you have not seen this movie, what are you doing? Come on, okay? Next is The Boys, that's a TV show. It's a good TV show. Yeah, The Boys is a very good TV show. I will go over it in a bit, in a few minutes. I'll go over it for a few minutes. Boys is a very great TV show. It's about superheroes who abuse their superpowers. And it's a very, very great and interesting show. They're making a part 2, a season 2. There are people complaining, oh, The Boys 2 will be a feminist show, but I still want to see the season 2 anyways, because the first season was always so amazing that, yeah, I want to see, the part 2, The Boys, really left you hanging on the part 2. The next movie on the list, I'm surprised Rebel Angel isn't above The Boys. But again, I don't know what IMDb ranks these by. I don't know the system that IMDb ranks these by. Oh, maybe it's by release date. I think it's by release date. Except for Mario Maker 2, because I think, yeah, Godzilla King of the Monsters came out, yeah, I think it's by release date. Yeah, I guess, it's by release date. So, yeah, Alita Battle Angel, if you have not seen this movie, I don't know what you're doing, okay? Of course, I know this movie is not, but of course, you should see this movie. It's amazing. The characters are great. The story, the story is good, but I think they really need to make a part 2 because it's really kind of like the War of the Rings, or because it's based off a manga, and part of the other parts of the story, when you really get into the movie, it's just the movie ends. Like that's the worst part about the movie, and it ends, and that's the worst part because you really want to see what happens next, but because of that, stupid mouse. Brian Fox. We'll probably never get to see a part 2 to Alita, so it's very disappointing that we'll probably never get a part 2. And considering that's the most disappointing part about the movie, the movie is amazing. I think you should see it. It's a very great sci-fi movie. the action scenes in this movie are very amazing. Like in the movie as well. And also, let's go back to Godzilla for a second. In Godzilla, let's not forget the action scenes in that movie are amazing too. Godzilla fighting against the monster. But of course, that's a Godzilla movie, so of course you expect the action to be good. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of an anime movie. It kind of reminded me like, something that, hasn't really been seen in any type of cinema and the Wheelbarrows or the anime fight scenes. And it's just why I see this movie, I think they say, hey, Fox Corp made a movie like this of Dragon Ball all this years ago, but they screwed it up. And yeah, hopefully, a studio someday gets a Dragon Ball movie right. Okay, someday gets a Dragon Ball movie correct. But yeah, I think if you really want to see more movies like Alita Battle Angel, maybe inspire more studios to make actual good anime movies, I think, yeah, this movie should be the movie you should watch. Next movie is, of course, John Wick 3. Again, if you have not seen any of the John Wick movies, you should start with 1 and end with 3. These movies, John Wick 2, and John Wick 3, they never disappoint. It's John Wick. It's easily the best action series of the 2010s. I'm sorry, Fast and the Furious fanboys. And, of course, I'm talking about non-superhero action movies because that's a different genre, essentially. And yeah, John Wick probably has so many, and of this year probably has, the second best, third best action scene in the entire, third best action scene in the entire, basically, movies. And the plot is actually pretty good in the movie, but the whole movie is just action. The whole movie is action after action, okay? They actually managed to make the action the main part of the movie. The main point of watching John Wick is the action, okay? The main point of watching these movies, of watching John Wick, the series, is the action scenes, okay? If you don't like action movies, well, if you like action movies and you have not seen the John Wick movies, it's just, what are you doing, okay? What are you doing, okay? John Wick, amazing series, just like Keanu Reeves' other series, The Matrix. Next is Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Pokemon Detective Pikachu, if you like Pokemon, you like this movie, okay? Pikachu, and then with that, Ryan Reynolds, of course, he is amazing in this movie. I just think it's so funny that they got Ryan Reynolds, of all people, to voice Pikachu, okay? Which makes the movie way more funny. It makes the movie way more entertaining. It makes the movie way more better, and, if it wasn't Ryan Reynolds being as Pikachu, this movie would probably been just another average movie. But of course, Ryan Reynolds is basically, carrying this movie, essentially. And he's basically one of the two main characters, too. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds makes this movie way more better. There's also some entertaining parts of the movie. The storyline is actually pretty decent to good. And yeah, if you haven't, and of course, I like Pokemon. I bought all the Pokemon games except for Pokemon Sword and Shield because I wish Game Freak could actually make a high quality Pokemon game and not just recycled 3DS games, the recycled 3DS graphics, and maybe, hopefully, the Pokemon games go back to the quality that this movie was. But yeah, Pokemon, hopefully Pokemon as a franchise gets better. And yeah, the next movie is Shazam. Probably one of the most underrated movies of the year. Shazam came out around April, when, 2 weeks before Endgame. And Shazam is, it's a very great movie. It's, it has a lot of heart. It has a good storyline, good characters, and good action scene at the end. And basically it's, a very great movie. It's a movie that, I think, it's getting a sequel and a spin-off. Despite not making that much money, it's getting a spin-off, which is going to be starring The Rock, called Black Adam, and I really want to see that one too. It's also getting a sequel, which I think will be Shazam versus The Rock as Black Adam, which I really just want, which means, The Rock will be starring in the Shazam sequel, probably as Black Adam. The villain of this movie is probably, he's a very great villain in this movie. Dr. Savannah, he's a very great villain. He basically, he had a tragic childhood. He got rejected by the wizard guy for not being pure of heart. So he basically comes back and becomes the bad guy. And he basically has to fight against Shazam, or Billy Benson, who is the guy who is told to do Shazam. And yeah, if you have not seen this movie, you should see this movie. It has some really funny, lighthearted comedy parts in the movie. And yeah, if you like DC movies, you just see this. Next movie is Jumanji: The Next Level. It's basically what you expect out of a Jumanji movie. I gotta remove it from the watch list. But yeah, I just saw it. Jumanji: The Next Level is basically entertainment. Okay, entertainment at its finest. Okay, it's entertainment. It's fun to watch, but yeah, the storyline's great. The characters are great. It's basically entertainment. There's a lot of funny and good scenes in the movie. It's basically what you expect from a Jumanji movie. I like the last one, and of course, I think Jumanji: The Next Level is a great movie. You should see it. The next movie is Angel Has Fallen. I think this goes by release date order. Angel Has Fallen is a very great movie. It's the third movie in the Has Fallen series, and someone I still remember someone made a video about a weird movie sales and said that really Angel Has Fallen is the most anticipated movie. It's the sequel to London Has Fallen. It's probably the best in the entire franchise as well. And the movie, it's a very great movie. Action scenes are pretty great. The characters, I think the characters are probably the best in this movie. I feel like they gave it to all in this movie, and it really worked in the best favor. And yeah, this movie has a 45 Metascore because they really hated this movie because, for some reason. They hated this movie for some weird reason. Maybe because there was too much action in the movie, there's too much action in the movie, too much action. It was basically like, it was similar to John Wick or Jason Bourne. It was similar to those movies. And yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, you should see it. I think it's also the top movie on Netflix as well. If you have Netflix, I think this movie is it should be seen. You should see this. Next is Endgame, okay? Endgame, I put it's still as a movie scale, it's still epic as a movie scale, but I just think there's a lot of things in the movie that could have really been cut from the movie. The whole stupid feminist scene, okay? The Fortnite scene, okay? That could have been cut, and there was still so many cringy scenes that could have been cut from the movie that really make this movie drag down. Let's not forget the plot is essentially reversing the snap. Let's not forget that this movie has the end game fight scene. Essentially, the only bad part about that fight scene is the stupid feminist scene. But yeah, there's little for 20 minutes of action. That's probably the second one of the it's basically that scene as its own is epic, where all the heroes come out of the portal, to fight Thanos again because it's time travel. Oh, and there's also a lot of plot holes with the time travel too. But yeah, for that fight scene alone, I'm not gonna hate on the movie. People think that I hate the movie Endgame. I know I don't hate the movie. I just think that there's some flaws in the movie, and I'm just pointing out the flaws in Endgame. And yeah, that's the point. Yeah, next is How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon Hidden World is probably better than Toy Story. I think it's better than Toy Story 4. It's a great conclusion to a series. I think, I know Disney's really just trying to make their own version of How to Train Your Dragon. But yeah, this movie's a very great movie. It's a very great ending. I'm not going to spoil the movie, of course. But yeah, the villain, he's hateable, but of course, he's a great villain. And yeah, basically, yeah, the dragon, there's some good action scenes. There's some good funny moments. It's a good story. Yeah. And then the last movie is Zombieland Double Tap. Yeah, Zombieland Double Tap. It's funny. A very funny movie. Zombieland, it's come on, it's Zombieland. The first movie was very great. It's a cult classic, horror movie, even though Wikipedia says it's not. But we all know it is. Zombieland is a cult classic movie. It's not really a mainstream movie. That's why this movie made the same amount of money as the first movie. It says only 26 million, but it made like 80 million like the first movie did, and made around the same amount of money worldwide as the first movie. And yeah, basically, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. Zombieland is a very entertaining movie. It's like Jumanji. It's just essentially entertainment. The storyline is pretty great as well with the zombies. But yeah, it's zombies are going around. But the movie is basically a very great movie, and you should see it. So that is every movie I have saw, and of course, there's movies that I want to see and have not seen yet. And yeah, there's a lot of movies. And I'll probably update this list, probably later. But yeah, this is every movie I have seen from 2019, and that that's actually good, of course. That I actually like, of course. Not no bad movies out here, no terrible movies, and that's basically it. Goodbye.